What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the gear I brought with me to my recent trip to Japan, and that would be my main lens over here. And for me it was hard to decide which lens I wanted to bring. I really wanted to be concise and compact with everything I brought, obviously because I wanted to meet airline regulations and stay as light as possible. I didn't want to jam everything into one bag. So because of that, I chose to bring my 24-70 GM Mark II by Sony. And it was either that or my 35 f1.4 G Master, which I'm currently filming on the A7C Mark II right now. I do have one regret though, somewhat. And so I bought this Tiffen Black Pro-Mist filter over here, and I got the 1/4 strength on this. To me, it did provide a bit too much diffusion for my liking, and it kind of took away from the optical quality, the innate quality of the GM Mark II, which is clinically one of the sharpest lenses optically ever made. So this right here, this 1/4 Black Pro-Mist diffusion, it definitely has a certain look to it, a certain character, and you'll see it in my photos. You'll see that the highlights are pretty bloomed out, but what I did feel like it did was it took away some contrast and some sharpness, so it kind of, in my opinion, degraded the image quality slightly. Again, only like a trained eye would be able to pick that up, but for some photos it did work out magically and very beautifully. Another purpose that this filter did provide was provide protection, because obviously this is super expensive glass, and just putting on the filter, it's pretty much a no-brainer. So it provides protection, and at the same time it provides that diffusion in the highlights, so your highlights aren't blown out, they kind of bloom into your image, which could be a look that some of you might actually want and that you're going for. And it was actually my first time using this filter in Japan. I bought it on Amazon, never used it here in the States. First time using it was out in the field, in Japan. Based on the images that I was able to come up with, you know, running and gunning, definitely nothing was planned. We didn't really try to time the weather, time anything. Everything was run and gun, spur of the moment, spontaneous. And I was able to capture, you know, a set of images that I really liked, and some just kind of, you know, for the joy of it. And I think that's what shooting should be all about, which is just connecting to your environment, connecting to your camera, your artistic ability, your creativity, and just being present and being in the moment, which is what I think is the most magical part of photography. And not every shot is gonna be that $1 million shot. For the other piece of gear that I brought with me on this trip, it's my Sony A7C original and the 20mm f1.8. I use this primarily for like vlogging and just kind of like non-pressured shots, non-serious shots. But actually my wife and I, we were both using this camera, just kind of like splitting it in between us, and we both got some really good images. And I feel like shooting with prime lenses, and this recent Japan trip really highlights that and illustrates for me, is that shooting between prime lenses and zoom lenses, there is a clear separation when it comes to character. You definitely notice a different kind of quality and consistency in prime lenses versus a zoom lens. And don't get me wrong, the 24-70, it is a workhorse. It is clinical, it is sharp. The color rendering on this glass is, I'd say, second to none. But what you are missing in a zoom lens versus a prime lens, so to speak, is character. It's kind of like when you look at an image and you just analyze both, one being from a zoom and one from a prime, you'll say, oh, this one looks kind of different. And what that difference might come down to, I guess, ultimately, is the way the photo renders the final output of an image. And it could be hard to really put your finger on what that exactly is, but it's just like a character that you'll hear a lot in the photography industry. Something that just stands out, makes you feel something. And I was able to achieve that with the 24-70, but only with a few shots, I'd say. The 20mm, on the other hand, like, you can just point it anywhere, shoot from the hip, just, you know, snap the shots, and not worrying about the settings. A lot of the times you'll get like a magical image. We have all this gear, we invest all this money into gear, lenses, cameras, ND filters, mist filters, and whatnot. But I wanna, you know, ask the question, pose the topic of what makes a good image? What makes a photo stand out? And to me, gear is one part of it, okay? Don't get me wrong. Shooting with an iPhone, it's one thing, but shooting with a, you know, full frame camera with great glass on it, it's a step up, all right? Anyone with a good eye, with a decent eye, will be able to tell you that. It's a step up in quality. So gear, that's a factor. Obviously, there are general rules of thumb for achieving good photo, rule of thirds, you know, color science, stuff like that. Okay, I don't want to get too technical, but then there's the third factor, which arguably could be the most important factor, and that could be the moment itself. And the more photos I take, the more I look back at my, portfolio, my images on Lightroom that have survived the delete, okay, that have survived the cut. The photos that I usually keep are moments that are unrepeatable. And that could be moments where one is expressing some emotion, a certain movement, a certain synchronicity, something that is hard to achieve, rarely achieved, or almost unrepeatable. And those images to me really stand out. Maybe the lighting was perfect in that moment. Maybe these people were walking into the frame in a certain way, at a certain time, in a certain place. Maybe these people were expressing themselves in a certain way, in a certain time, in a certain place, with certain lighting, with certain color palettes, science in the background, providing a almost unrepeatable synchronistic ambiance to the image, a certain character. And to me, those are the images really that, kind of tell a story. A picture tells 1,000 words, as they say, and that's so true. That really is true. A good photo is gonna make you ask questions, make you feel something. And the gear is one part of it, and just being in the right place at the right time is another. So keep those in mind as you are going about running and gunning into the world that, you might have the best camera. You could have brought all your soft boxes, your lighting, your filters, having an assistant there. Even with all the technicalities in place, you might achieve an okay image. The best images I've taken are usually organic, spur of the moment, right time, right place, and just capturing an unrepeatable, unmistakable, synchronistic moment in time. Those are the best images in my opinion. So, quick channel update. I have a lot of things planned for this channel this year. Still plan on doing more POV photography shoots. I might invest in the new A7 IV this year. We'll see the specs once it comes out, so be on the lookout for that. We'll see though, okay? And yeah, definitely plan on expanding the content, different types of content on this channel. I might get into EDC, more gear, because like those are the things I'm into. I like having niche type of stuff. I like having things a specific way, my way. So yeah, thanks so much again for all of you who support this channel. I hope everyone's having a great start to 2025. Let's keep growing together. Have a blessed day out there to everybody. See you in the next one. Peace out.
これはまさにゴンドラに乗った皆さんだけしか見ることができない特別な景色です。この景色を初めて見ることがあるので、はい。Kind of like